Today I really want to talk about rules and when to break them. You've probably noticed that the YouTube education niche has absolutely exploded in the past few years, with a lot of really big channels teaching smaller YouTubers how to succeed on the platform. Don't get me wrong, I think there's some really great content out there and some really good advice for people just starting out on YouTube. But I also think a lot of new creators these days are being taught that all you need to do is follow a set of hard and fast rules in order to succeed on YouTube. And the more you go down the YouTube growth rabbit hole, the longer the list of rules gets. You need to learn the science of perfecting the perfect thumbnail. You need to learn how to write the most captivating titles. You need to use the right hooks. You need to implement the right storytelling in your videos. And you need to learn about niches and sub-niches and micro-niches. And then of course you'll start seeing the gurus who have solved the mystery, they've cracked the code, and you can do the same by just following their step-by-step guide or buying their blueprint or their masterclass or their exclusive webinar. You get the picture, and it's really easy to fall into this trap, to get sucked in by all the hype and then start overthinking and overanalyzing every aspect of your videos and trying to fine-tune every little detail according to these rules that you've learned. And the problem is you spend more time trying to crack this magic formula than just creating genuine content, creating content that's you. Don't get me wrong, I'm not dumping on anyone who gives YouTube advice. Hell, that's what I do on this channel. I've learned a ton of stuff from other people over the last few years on how to improve my videos and how to grow my own channels. There are definitely some core principles that you really need to learn and a bunch of stuff that you should avoid doing and common mistakes. So I'm not saying don't go out and learn, but take what you learn and figure out how that can apply to you as a creator, as an individual. It's important to see the paths that other people have walked and found success and to understand how they got there. But don't be afraid to go off exploring and find your own path and break the rules once in a while. As a creator, sometimes we just need to throw the rule book out. Sometimes the best rewards come when we break the rules. So let's take a look at a couple of channels that do exactly that. So here's a guy called Tony from AB Camping. So I've actually been following this guy for a few years now. I really enjoy his videos. So Tony's a British guy that lives in New Zealand and is really into camping. And pretty much all of his videos is just him taking his dog out with a 4x4 and camping and documenting the whole experience. So when you look at this channel, you don't see a channel that follows the conventional rules. We're not seeing any fancy thumbnails here. In fact, most of his videos don't even have text on the thumbnails. His titles are pretty much what you see is what you get. So tent camping in the rain, or camping in snow, or camping in the wind. You get the picture. But the really interesting thing about Tony's channel is when you click into his videos and see exactly what the content is. He literally films almost every aspect of his camping trip. You arrive at the campsite with him and set up camp almost as if you were with him. There's very little editing, there's hardly any cuts in his videos. And then the majority of the video is literally him sitting talking, sometimes with a cigar or a glass of whiskey, just talking to the camera, and his videos go on for over 3 hours. This is like a cross between a vlog and ASMR. So Tony's not following the conventional rules here. He's making 3, 4, sometimes even 5-hour videos of just a single camping trip. There's no flashy edits, there's no cuts. Often he'll just be sitting there for like a whole hour just talking to the camera. When you look at the front page, we haven't got any fancy thumbnails. We've just got literally a photo of the campsite. So when we have a look at this channel, it's got nearly 260,000 subscribers. Most of his videos are getting well over 200,000 or 300,000 views. One of the reasons I think he's so popular is he knows how to capitalize on his biggest asset, which is himself. He's perfectly comfortable sitting in front of a camera and talking to you as if you were his mate on the campsite. And that level of authenticity draws people in, and they're quite willing to sit and watch a video for 2, 3 or 4 hours. So then you've got to ask yourself, would he have found that same audience if he was making 15 to 20-minute videos with lots of cuts, with edits, with transitions, implementing all of the rules? Probably not. So this next channel is probably the best example of just going off the reservation and throwing the rule book out, and that's Dry Creek Wrangler School. So this is a guy called Dwayne who lives out in some ranch in the US. I'm not sure exactly how old he is, but he's got some years on Ryan Trahan. And literally all he does in his videos is sit down with a pipe or a drink, and he just literally sits down and talks to the camera about life. The guy has no niche. He talks about horses, he talks about ranching, he talks about philosophy, he talks about guns, he talks about life, he talks about anything that's on his mind in any particular day. He just sits down and talks to the camera. So if you look at this guy's channel, I mean, look at his thumbnails, they're all the same. It's mostly a bearded guy, sometimes with a cigar. His titles aren't really that descriptive, and the contents of the video is just a guy sitting there smoking a cigar, chatting about what's on his mind today. That's literally what his channel is. But he does it with such authenticity and puts so much of himself into his videos, just his natural character without trying, that he's actually garnered a hell of a following. So if you don't know this channel, it's the Dry Creek Wrangler School with a whopping 1.24 million subscribers. 1.24 million subscribers for a guy that just sits down in a chair and talks to a camera. So what works here is that Dwayne is making the content that he's passionate about making. And if that means throwing out most of the conventional norms and rules, then that's what he has to do to make his type of content. And it works. He's got nearly 1.3 million subscribers. So the last channel I want to look at is this one. So this is a guy called Steve Wallace. He also has a camping channel, and I apologize, camping's one of my hobbies, so I guess you're getting an idea of what my playlist looks like. And I was following this channel a long time before it got as big as it is now. And when I first found the channel, he was basically off doing a course somewhere for about 8 weeks, a tradesman course. And in order to save money not staying in a hotel, he decided to stay in a tent for 8 weeks. And he just started filming and documenting that experience. And that's when his channel started to pick up. And since then, he's just got really known for stealth camping, or camping in unusual and sometimes questionably illegal areas. And as his channel's growing, he started to diversify a little bit into just more unconventional types of camping and things that no one else would have thought of. But when we look at this as a YouTube channel, this is really, really low production. It's always a handheld camera. Sometimes the lighting is terrible. His thumbnails haven't changed in years. They're just sort of a photo of what's going on with some pretty bog standard Helvetica font style wording. I'd say this is a perfect example of a channel that just doesn't follow the rules. But that doesn't stop his audience from loving him. Steve's grown a huge community over the years on his YouTube channel. He's currently sitting at 1.6 million subscribers. So I think what I'm trying to get across in this video is when you're just starting out, you can feel like there's a ton of stuff that you need to learn. And I think it's easy for people to fall into this trap of getting consumed by all of these different strategies, all of these rules on YouTube, and that ends up stifling the content creation. People like Steve Wallace and Tony from AB Camping, I very much doubt they've spent much time watching YouTube growth videos. I might be wrong, but I'm just going on what I see on their channel. But they've got a massive success. And they've got that success by honing in on what makes them a good creator and how they can express their personality on camera. And if that doesn't follow the rules that everyone else is doing, so be it. So I think some of the best people on the platform aren't content creators, they're content innovators. And when I say content innovator, I don't mean you need to go off and invent something completely wild and new. The word innovate literally means to introduce something new or to make changes in anything established. So how do you innovate on a topic that's been discussed a million times? Well, the something new is you. So use your uniqueness to innovate your own content and make your own rules. So if there's one thing that I want you to take away from this video, it's that you should just make what you love making. And I think it's really important, especially for new creators, to peel back the layers and just focus on exploring the type of content that you want to create. To focus on how to get your authentic personality out there to your viewers, and not getting so tied up following other people's advice and following how other people are doing things and their rules, and then you end up not innovating and not able to express yourself in the way you want to in your content. The only way to truly innovate as a content creator is sometimes to just throw the rulebook out. So I'm Craig, I hope you found this helpful or at least a little thought-provoking. If you like this video, then please hit the like button, it really does help, and consider subscribing to the channel if you want some more content like this. Till the next time. Push it to the limit.